I get an extra week this year. I just found out I get an extra week to go backpacking this year. I picked the Shenandoah National Park. I've done it a couple times partially, but never actually made it through the whole way. First time I had jet lag from coming back from Indonesia. You'll see that video on the trip down there. Climbed a volcano down there, pretty cool. Next time, a friend I was hiking with ended up with a $half size blister, and it just wasn't any fun anymore. Hiking in pain is just not the way to go, and so we called that one early. Both of them, I came home without finishing what I planned to do. This time I'm going the whole way, starting at Rockfish Gap, heading up to Tom Floyd Shelter. I'm going to park there near Tom Floyd Shelter in the 4-H parking lot. They let us park there, just have to register. It's really cool. So I'm finishing up my planning and packing. It's all last minute. I got some food laid out here. I'll show you that in another video. What I had to do in advance real quick, spray my clothes with permethrin and let that dry. I need to have that all processed ready so I can start packing it. You can see I've got it laid out here. I'll put a link up here for my permethrin video, how to apply it. Some of these clothes are the same, some are different from that video, but the application is the same. You'll figure it out. As I mentioned in other videos, I take the climate for an area, plan 10 degrees colder, and that's what I plan for my equipment. Usually we're up in the mountains, a little bit higher where it's cooler, and extremes, you never know what's going to happen. So the temperature could go down further than the climate, because the climate is just kind of a predicted or expected temperature. So that's what I did here. That takes me down to 32 degrees, basically, 32 Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. 44 Fahrenheit is the low for the climate. So you take 10 off of that, oh, that's freezing, pretty close. And so that's what I plan, and I'll just go over here what I'm going to do for that temperature. When I'm doing this kind of a planning for my clothes, I always start at my feet and methodically work up to try to make sure I don't miss anything. When I'm planning for a backpacking trip or for a regular vacation, what kind of shoes do I need? What kind of socks do I need? Pants, that kind of thing. So I'm starting at the bottom with this too. My favorite hiking boot is a Salomon X Ultra 3 GTX. This is my third pair. I've pretty much worn out all three. I just got maybe one more good backpacking trip left in the third pair. I do have the green Superfeet in them. I had plantar fasciitis several years ago, and the green Superfeet solved that. I don't have any issues anymore. For camp shoes at 7 3/4 ounces, I'm going to try Crocs for the first time. The shoes I used in Pennsylvania and Maryland were very comfortable, but they seem to collect and exaggerate the smell of my feet. So I'm going to try these and see if I have less smelly camp shoes. A lot of people have them. You've seen them, I'm sure, too. Working up from there, my favorite socks tends to be darn tough. These happen to be Balega shoes. They're also made out of the merino wool, very comfortable. Notice that they're identical. Both pairs are identical. That's what I like to do. I have one color, one style sock, and then when I get done with the laundry, it's not a problem pairing them. You never lose a sock. If you do lose a sock, oh, that's fine. I just have 3 socks in this pair then. Other people don't like that. They like to have unique socks, and you can do that too. For me, I just like things real simple, consistent, no variables. So I'm good with that. This summer, I started with my first pair of Dirty Girl gaiters. They didn't cost a ton. I actually paid a little bit extra to get them expedited. I wanted to try them, and I was real short on time. And they showed up. The first time I ever used them was when I set foot on the Appalachian Trail in Pennsylvania, up by Delaware Water Gap. And they work great. I talked to a friend, and he said, well, the difference would be that your socks and inside of your shoes stay cleaner. And sure enough, I did for an experiment one day. I did not wear them, and the inside of my shoes were just totally dirty with dirt and leaves and little stones. And so these are part of my camping gear now. I'll wear these year round. Going up from there, I use ex officio brief underwear. They're lightweight, they dry real quickly. I don't use the boxers because they weigh too much. You decide what kind of underwear you want to wear. I don't want to be involved. That's your choice. Coming up from there, I have my hiking clothes. If I can, if it's warm enough, and that's maybe 55 Fahrenheit, 60, so 10 degrees or so Celsius, I'll hike in shorts. These are real lightweight. They got a built-in liner. I love them. I have 3 different shirts I'm taking. All of them are moisture wicking. An Arc'teryx t-shirt, an REI shirt, and a shirt our troop pulled together for one of our outings. Very comfortable. Use these as my base layer and as my hiking shirt. Once I get to camp, and maybe on really cold days, I've got the REI Sahara convertible pants. Almost all the pants I buy now have a zip-off legs. Just gives me that option where I've actually got another pair of hiking shorts here if I want to, and I hike in these quite often as well. If I get to camp and it's a little bit cool, I can put these right on over my Brooks hiking shorts. Not a problem, real comfortable. For my insulating layer on this strip, got a lightweight REI a quarter zip or half zip up. Totally great. I rarely hike with this actually. It just gets too warm for me. It does have the thumb holes. I really like that. All my shirts, all my pullovers with a zipper, they all have those now. I won't buy one without it anymore. And as it gets colder into the evening, got an REI beanie. It's about 40% wool. I won't try it on because it messes up my hair. Pull this on, it keeps my head warm. Quite often, 50 degrees or 10 degrees or so Celsius or cooler, I'll wear this in the sleeping bag. You may not have noticed, but my hairline is starting to recede and I lose a lot of heat out of my head. And so I need to wear this at night. Haven't decided yet, but in these temperatures that I'm expecting, maybe down to freezing, I probably will take along these Columbia gloves. They're synthetic, but they just cut the chill. They're not, you don't want to do a snowball fight in them or go for a long adventure, but setting up the tent, collecting firewood, making dinner, they cut off the chill and you still have all your fingers for being dexterous. When it's windy especially, I'll wear my Gore-Tex mittens from REI. They cut the wind, but they don't really hold in much heat. And the nice thing is, with the Columbia gloves on, they fit in. So if I need some warmth, I need some wind to be cut, perfect pair. Here's the Magnum, REI Magnum vest, the puffy vest, 650 downfill. I've also got the hoodie version with long sleeves and 950 downfill, and I'll talk about downfill later, but basically the higher the downfill number, the more insulating value you get for the weight. So this will be enough. This will be just fine down to freezing, especially with the beanie and with this. Now they used to call these raincoats. Now they call them shells, and I think it's because you can charge more for a shell. It blocks the wind and it blocks the water. I put this on over the puffy, over the insulating layer, and I'm good down to freezing. If it gets too cold, fine, I can climb in my sleeping bag. So that's a quick review. That's the clothes I'm taking. Shenandoah National Park. I'll be there at the end of September, beginning of October. Would you take something different? Do you have other suggestions? One thing I'm interested in is doing more hiking north of Pennsylvania. Most of my AT hiking has been south of Pennsylvania and south, but I need to start clicking off some miles up further north. What changes did you make for attacking that part of the Appalachian Trail? Let me know in the comments below. See you later, bye.